Caitlin Clark is out injured.
Caitlin Clark out yet again with a left groin injury.
And it's been an awful thing. Caitlin Clark is officially ruled out.
Caitlin Clark is out with a groin injury.
The fallout has begun.
Nobody has had to deal with the things that Caitlin Clark has had to deal with. She has been treated different.
She's carried women's basketball on her back.
Caitlin Clark has been getting beat down this year. She has been the center of national attention for going on 24, if not 36 months straight.
But now Caitlin Clark might be done for the season. After pushing through multiple injuries,
Caitlin Clark is going out now for a third time with a third injury. This time it is her left groin.
getting hit harder than any rookie should, and being thrown into games already won, her groin injury just got worse. And fans everywhere are furious.
Why do we keep letting people take shots at her? I don't know where the WNBA would be at without Caitlin Clark.
That's the draw. That's the aura.
If you're 100% behind Caitlin Clark,
Caitlin Clark is the needle. Caitlin is box office.
Caitlin Clark is the star. Everything else is wrapped around her, and everything else is revolving around her.
She's Rookie of the Year in the WNBA.
Caitlin Clark is the star player of the WNBA.
The most popular woman ever in the WNBA, Caitlin Clark.
Drop a 100% in the comments. We need to make sure they hear us loud and clear.
She's one of the biggest sports figures we have.
I'm absolutely worried long term. I'm absolutely worried because everybody who's had to go through what Caitlin has had to go through hasn't left unscathed.
It started with a quad strain in preseason, then another quad flare-up midseason, and now it's her groin. That's 3 separate injuries in just a few months, and all of them are stacking up.
We go from a quad to a quad to a groin.
Caitlin Clark has been carrying the weight of a league that's leaned on her for relevance.
Caitlin Clark has been getting beat down this year. She has been the center of national attention for going on 24, if not 36 months straight.
And now it looks like her body is finally pushing back. She missed the Fever's most recent game due to a left groin injury.
We really don't know how long she's going to be out.
And while the team tried to play it off as day-to-day, the footage tells a different story. Clips show her grabbing at the area days before the official injury report. Some fans pointed to moments in the Connecticut Sun game where her leg was visibly taped. Then she played again.
She had her upper left leg taped during a couple of those games.
Then she got worse. And somehow, with 45 seconds left in a blowout win, the Fever still threw her back on the court.
Why the hell was Caitlin Clark in this game, a game that was over? With 16 seconds left against the Storm, they won the game.
Basketball of the season.
But some people are saying that Caitlin Clark got injured.
Off as Clark's back in.
Yeah, we still put her back in the game at 45 seconds left.
Why? This isn't just mismanagement. It's disrespect.
How much patience do I need to have before I can start going nuclear?
Even Stephanie White, her own coach, seemed lost. She admitted in interviews that she only found out about the injury last night, couldn't confirm what the MRI showed, and kept repeating that she'd stay in her lane.
Stephanie White has come out. She just made comments about Caitlin Clark's groin injury.
With Caitlin, when did you guys find out about this groin injury, and how much of an absence do you expect from her beyond today?
Yeah, late last night. I think it's very much a day-to-day thing, how she responds to treatment. I stay in my lane and let our strength and conditioning and our physical, our AT staff do what they do best. But yeah, I found out late last night, and then we'll treat it day to day.
That's not leadership. That's detachment. And when the best player in the league, the one person fans are paying to see, gets hurt repeatedly under your watch, you don't get to stay in your lane.
It's clear she has absolutely no idea.
With the MRI, did it show a strain or anything? Or I don't. You'll have to ask our training staff.
You take accountability. And let's be honest, Caitlin Clark doesn't look like herself. Her explosive step is gone. The lift on her shot has dropped.
Something's just not right. The explosion wasn't there. The lift on her shot wasn't there.
The numbers show it too. 1 for 23 from beyond the arc in her recent slump.
Caitlin Clark is out. 1 of 23 tells you there is something physically off about the shot.
This isn't just fatigue. This is physical decline. The signs are there for everyone to see, except apparently the people in charge of protecting her. She's never missed games, not in Iowa, not in high school, but now under the brightest lights and the highest pressure, she's breaking down.
Caitlin Clark hadn't missed a game since she was like 19 years old, since she was like 18 in college or something. She's like 1 for 20-something on threes in the last 3.
And unless something changes fast, this won't just be a short-term setback. It could be the beginning of something far worse, because groin injuries, especially stacked on previous muscle strains, don't heal quickly. They linger. They ruin seasons. Sometimes they end them. And that's the terrifying truth we're staring at right now.
I think she's had a lot on her plate. This is not Iowa. This is not Kansas anymore, Toto. This is the WNBA. This is the world. And she's got a lot on her shoulders.
What happens when your biggest threat isn't the opponent in front of you, but the team behind you? Because right now, all signs point to Caitlin Clark being mishandled, misused, and misled by the very organization that should be protecting her future. Her injuries didn't just get worse overnight. They were telegraphed, televised, repeatedly ignored. And that silence, that indecision, it's starting to look intentional. Start with the timeline. Caitlin had tape on her leg during the Liberty game, and again during the Connecticut Sun matchup.
Does she not realize how serious a groin injury is?
Multiple creators and fans picked up on it, asking, is she hurt again? The answer, yes. But the team didn't say a word. No early rest, no injury reports, just another game, another push. And then boom, she's out with a groin injury, and her coach, Stephanie White, says she found out the night before.
It had to have been at some point during the day because they took her out yesterday, for the MRI. So I'm not exactly sure. I didn't hear about it until we heard from our training staff last night.
Think about that. Your franchise player, your global draw, and the coach didn't know she was injured until after the MRI. That's not just bad communication. That's an indictment of leadership, of medical staff, of an entire franchise that seems either clueless or careless with a generational talent. Even worse, this wasn't a one-off mistake. This is a pattern. Her first quad injury, downplayed. Her second, called unrelated to the first, even though both happened in the same leg within weeks. Fans aren't buying it, and neither should Caitlin.
We all can see, except for the person that gets paid to actually make the decisions.
Because what's happening now is textbook overuse and underprotection. The kind that ruins careers before they even get off the ground. And if it stopped there, maybe you could chalk it up to inexperience. But it gets uglier. Clark was reinserted into a game with just 45 seconds left, when the Fever had already secured the win.
Caitlin Clark is the needle mover.
She is the needle mover.
She is the franchise player.
And she was the MVP.
She is the main draw.
She wasn't the one who was full sprinting down the court.
Caitlin Clark is a rising star in women's basketball. She's pulling in crazy viewership numbers.
She's my role model. I really look up to her.
Why do you like Caitlin?
Yeah, she's so good at basketball.
Because she's that awesome person and she has like a lot of aura, so like.
Who does that? Who risks their star player's health for less than a minute of meaningless game time? You can hear the frustration in fan podcasts, on social media, even from former players. And it's all saying the same thing. This organization does not know what it's doing.
She is so big to sports, let alone to the WNBA. And I keep saying plays where after the whistle's blown, they taking shots at her. And I'm thinking, how are we letting women or even players, no matter what sport it is, take shots at our best asset?
Some fans are even beginning to question if Clark still trusts her own franchise. And honestly, how could she? When your coach can't give clear answers about your injury.
Stephanie White seems to be completely in over her head once again.
When the same muscle groups keep breaking down and no one adjusts your workload. When you're clearly playing through pain and instead of being protected, you're being pushed.
I'm worried for the league because you keep letting her beat on Caitlin after the whistle.
Caitlin Clark is not a liability. She's an asset, maybe the biggest the WNBA has ever had. And the Indiana Fever are treating her like she's disposable, like she's a name on a roster, not the reason that half the country even knows they exist. This isn't just poor strategy, it's a betrayal. And here's the hard truth. If things continue like this, Caitlin has every reason to consider walking away.
Fans are done with Stephanie White. The honeymoon period is over. Stephanie White is not the coach the Fever need.
Whether it's taking a break, sitting out the season, or looking at overseas options where the pay is higher and the physical demands are better managed, she has leverage. And if she decides to use it, the Fever and the league have only themselves to blame. Because when you ask a rookie to carry a franchise and then you fail to carry her back when she needs it most, you don't deserve her.
When she walks away here, there is a bit of wincing that goes on when she gets up.
Let's not sugarcoat this. The WNBA's entire media momentum, sponsorship hype, and national conversation hinges on one player. And she's sitting on the bench right now in pain. Caitlin Clark isn't just another rookie. She's not a one-time college phenom trying to make the leap. She's the spark that lit the entire league on fire.
The Indiana Fever literally taking what looks like the most valuable women's athlete asset, an asset that I contend is worth more than every player in the WNBA combined.
Since her arrival, attendance has surged. Viewership has skyrocketed. Networks that never cared before are suddenly bidding for game rights. Kids, parents, even casual sports fans who couldn't name one WNBA team last year are now tuning in. And for what? To watch Caitlin Clark. Not to see her benched with ice packs. Not to watch her limp across the floor. And definitely not to hear coaches mumble vague day-to-day excuses while clearly out of their depth.
Groins are really finicky and they take a while to heal.
Yeah, late last night. I think it's very much a day-to-day thing, how she responds to treatment. I stay in my lane and let our strength and conditioning and our physical, our AT staff do what they do best. But yeah, I found out late last night and then we'll treat it day to day.
And that's the dangerous part. Because when your business model revolves around a single star and that star gets hurt, your entire product begins to unravel. We've seen it already. The last time Caitlin missed a game, ratings plummeted. It wasn't a drop, it was a cliff. Social media engagement tanked. Comment sections were full of one question: is Caitlin playing? And when the answer is no, fans simply check out.
WNBA rumors suggest Caitlin Clark will be among the first stars making $1 million annually. The most notable of which is, y'all already know who, the needle mover, Caitlin Clark.
So in 2024, she averaged 16.5 points per game, 4 assists, 5.5 rebounds. She shot 37% from the field and 31.8% from three. Now, if you look at her preseason in 2025, she only played 2 games in this preseason, and one was against that Brazilian national team. She played 21 minutes. She averaged 14.5 points, 6 assists, 6 rebounds. She shot 52.5% from the field and 50% from three-point range.
Merchandise sales stall. Scalp ticket prices drop. Suddenly, the WNBA feels quiet again, and that silence is deafening. You know it's serious when even former players are speaking out, not just about the injury, but about how Clark is being uniquely targeted. Analysts have made it clear no other rookie has faced this kind of physicality. Caitlin is being picked up full court every game.
They treat Caitlin Clark different. They approach Caitlin Clark different.
Bodied harder than MVPs like A'ja Wilson, and fouled repeatedly with no protection from refs. This isn't defense. This is punishment, and the league is letting it happen. Why? To prove toughness? To silence critics? Or worse, to let other players make a statement by roughing up the face of the sport?
The news dropped from the Fever. Caitlin Clark is out with a groin injury.
Caitlin Clark out yet again with a left groin injury.
The fallout has begun. That's the draw. That's the aura. That's the brand. She is the WNBA.
Whatever the reason, the league is walking a dangerous line because Caitlin Clark has already endured more physical punishment in her rookie year than most players see in their first 3. And if she decides enough is enough, she has options. She can sit the rest of the season. She can rehab privately, skip press, and come back stronger next year. She can even leave for Europe where top players like Brittany Griner once did can earn millions while playing fewer games with less risk. Some creators are already speculating, if she walks, does the WNBA collapse back into silence? Because right now she's propping up the league's brand by herself.
I just see the numbers. So like I know what the numbers are when she's playing and I know what they are when she's not.
Indiana Fever games are the only ones consistently getting prime coverage. Clark jerseys are selling out. Commentators compare her rise to the Magic Bird era of the NBA, a cultural lightning bolt, drawing in both sports and social discourse. Even race has entered the conversation. A white girl from Iowa challenging and often outshining black veterans from powerhouse schools. Whether you love her or hate her, you can't ignore her. That's the definition of star power. So what happens if she's gone? Not just out for one game, not just resting.
If Caitlin Clark was choose to walk away, this is a disaster. It's a disaster.
Groins are really finicky and they take a while to heal.
But gone for the season. The truth, the WNBA loses more than just a player. It loses its moment, its momentum, its shot at finally entering the mainstream, not as a niche league, but as a real contender in pro sports. And that's what makes this injury different.
Yeah, late last night. I think it's very much a day-to-day thing, how she responds to treatment. I stay in my lane and let our strength and conditioning and our physical, our AT staff do what they do best. But yeah, I found out late last night, and then we'll treat it day to day.
It's not just Caitlin's groin on the line. It's the entire WNBA's future. Because for the first time in decades, they have an athlete who can carry the torch. And yet they're letting her carry it alone through injuries, bad coaching, post-whistle hits, and national scrutiny. The risk isn't just that Caitlin Clark will break down. The risk is that she'll break away.
Game after game, possession after possession, they are beating her up. I'm worried about her body being able to hold up.
And once that happens, there's no backup plan. There's no second Caitlin Clark waiting in the wings. There's only silence.
That's nice.
And she was shooting the shit out of it.
Of course she was.
Right. So she was shooting the shit out of it. And
she's the face of the league.
Agreed.
She's the face of the league. Agreed.
Just have nothing but great things to say about who she is as a person. Just so welcoming and so warm as an individual that she can have a conversation with anybody. She's cut from the same cloth as me in that regard. You know what? Us Midwesterners, we tend to just, accept everybody with open arms. She was so kind to my family and everyone in the suite when she came to KC. So huge fans of Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark is the needle mover.
She is the needle mover.
She is the franchise player.
And she was the MVP.
She is the main draw.
She wasn't the one who was full sprinting down the court.
Caitlin Clark is a rising star in women's basketball. She's pulling in crazy viewership numbers.
She's my role model. I really look up to her.
Why do you like Caitlin?
And she's so good at basketball.
Because she's that awesome person and she has like a lot of aura, so like.
This isn't just another injury update, it's a warning. Caitlin Clark's groin injury didn't come out of nowhere. It's the result of a league leaning too hard, too fast on one player without giving her the protection, support, or leadership she deserves. And now that pressure might cost us the rest of her rookie season, or worse, her trust in the entire system. She's given everything, her body, her brand, her time. And in return, she's been targeted.
She is the WNBA. Her three-point shot should have already been changed. That should be the logo.
Your ratings are going to drop by 55 to 60% once again. I believe the WNBA have successfully broken Caitlin Clark.
Mishandled and left exposed. If Caitlin Clark decides to sit out, if she decides to walk away, we won't just lose a player. We'll lose the best thing that's ever happened to women's basketball. So to every fan watching, this matters. Drop a 100% in the comments if you stand with Caitlin. Let's make it clear. We don't just want her back on the court. We want her safe, respected, and in control of her own story. Because this league needs her. But more importantly, she doesn't need this league.